Hello everyone, welcome back to Barcast TV. We have a special match for you today, taken from the quarterfinals of the Beyond All Reason Alpha Championship Cup number 3. Two great players, so let's get into it and I can introduce them. Spawning on the left-hand side of the map, playing as the red pieces, it's Zlo. So gotta say, big fan of you, Zlo. Glad you're playing, glad you're showing off your games here. And his opponent on the right-hand side of the map, playing as a blue pieces, it's Teddy. So both these players are well up on the leaderboard, made it to all the way to the quarterfinals. So both these players, I'm sure, totally capable of winning the tournament. And they're playing today on Copper Hill. Now, this is from the quarterfinals, which are played in a best of 3. So this is game 3 from their series. So the drama has ensued. They're at this, arrived at the final game, a best of 1 here, to move on to the semifinals. So who's going to win? If you think Zlo's going to win, I want you to hit that like button, show him some support. So, and if you think Teddy's going to win, why don't you leave a comment and tell us how you feel. Let us know if you're going to be rooting for him. So, glad you guys are watching. Glad you're here with me observing this game. I was pretty excited for this tournament to start. Wanted to see what these players chose to bring, what they've been practicing for. So, really cool to see. I'd like to have more of these tournaments in the bar community. So, hopefully we have some more before the year ends. So, let's take a look at the opening builds here. Teddy commenting about the win, so definitely was forced to make the solar collector here and went for a triple mechs into bot lab. So, pretty standard open. Didn't quite see if he went 2 mechs into bot lab and capping that 3rd mechs, but he's going to be playing bots. And his opponent, same build here. So Zlo opened up triple mechs into bot lab, so still just adding on some wind turbines and was forced to make the solar collector. So both players dealing with that little energy stall at the early part of the game, dealing with that insufficient wind speed. So adding on those solar collectors just to kind of protect their economy. So I'd love to see that adjusting quickly. You see Zlo opening grunt first into construction bot, and Teddy opened construction bot into 2 grunts. So he's going to be getting this earlier expansion. He's already moving out of his base, trying to cap this mech. He's going to add on an LLT and move to this bottom right side of the map to try and take those expansions. So take a look at Zlo's open. He just has this 1 construction bot staying in his main base, playing really passively and defensively with these grunts here. I don't really blame him. You don't want to be taking damage in this part of the game. So doing his best to try and protect his economy, protect the units and structures he's built already. Doesn't want to be harassed, take unnecessary damage. And take a look at Teddy. Looks like he's moving a couple units across the map. He's got a grunts moving to the top side, grunts moving to this middle part, checking for a construction bot. Sure, he's going to back off. He doesn't see anything. And looks like we have a little engagement here. Zlo's going to draw first blood. He takes down this grunt of Teddy, so hopefully that's a sign of what's to come here. Both players just executing their opening builds. Neither commander has stepped outside of the main base. And finally, we have Zlo stepping down with this construction bot. He's going to be taking the southern expansion here. Looks like he's just going to go mechs, move down to the top side here, and cap these 3 mechs. So I like the lack of the LLT. You don't want to be making those in such an early part of the game. I know they help kind of slow down the game and protect what you've already done, but I mean, if you have decent radar coverage and grunts in position, there really shouldn't be a reason to build LLTs so early on in the game. And looks like Zlo caught another 2 grunts here at Teddy. So great job picking off units. Take a look at the main bases so far. Teddy's looks like he's stepping out. He's going to be expanding here and adding a radar to the high ground. So really love that radar positioning. That definitely gives a wider range here than he would have normally gotten. And he has 3 construction bots assisting this factory, just producing grunts all day, every day. Take a look at the main base of Zlo. Looks like he is not moving out with his commander yet, just adding on 1 last construction bot. Looks like he's stalling mass here for a second, so he's trying to get this construction turret up, and notices he's floating power. He's going to add on this energy converter, so great job balancing his economy. Take a look at the statistics here. Looks like Teddy's got a slight advantage in the metal produced, just 200. So that's about, 6 or 7 grunts, though, 4 or 5 minutes in the game, and wonder where that extra mass is. You got 13 grunts on the field for Zlo. You got about 10 for Teddy, so Teddy definitely with the more forward position here and has a big concentration of grunts here. Zlo a little out of position. He's got a lot more grunts on the north side of the map, so Teddy ran in now. He would get this mech, take out this little army, but doesn't dive in. He's just, trying to camp the position. Doesn't want to lose units unnecessarily. I don't blame him. Doesn't know what we know. So just going to back off, chooses not to take the engagement, and splits off one unit here to try and search for that expanding engineer. Doesn't find it. Zlo adjusting nicely here, using this radar to see that unit movement here, and is also noticing this unit's moving to the north side, so he's going to get into position with that, takes out one grunt in his main base. And looks like Teddy's still locking down the map, so he's got two LOTs kind of blocking off these left and right choke points, and this great radar here. Look at this huge coverage, so great moves. Looks like Teddy's going to clutch this run by. Doesn't see this expansion quite yet, so. And I really like this commander positioning from Teddy here. He's skipping this expansion here in the top right and going to be expanding to this plateau with his commander. So great job locking down this half of the map and kind of getting forward more quickly than his opponent. So, and it's definitely showing so far. He's up 20 mass per tick to Zlo's 14 mass, so he's got a decent advantage there. Take a look back at the player views here. You can see Teddy's got this great radar coverage. He built another radar here on the high ground, so he sees a lot of the board. Isn't unaware. Looks like Zlo kind of trying to get this run by in, taken out by that LLT. I was disparaging earlier. So can take a look at Zlo. Finally sending a construction bot here to the north side of the map, and it still has his commander inside the main base. So just trying to get these grunts on the battlefield. And he's got a res bot out, cleaning up these two grunts that fell earlier in the map. And just trying to get this northern expansion here. So a little ahead on energy. Looks like still kind of, balancing this very well. He's got no mass in the bank. Love to see that. He's built 3 of these energy converters. He's got a 4th one on the way. So great job using this extra power income to balance his economy. And Teddy's moving down. He's posturing with his army. Could take this fight if he wanted to. He's got a big grunt advantage and dives down, takes out a radar for the cost of 1 grunt, so that's a great trade. Radars are about 60 mass, and these grunts are, I think, 36, so great job being mass efficient there with his units. Just splits off 1 grunt to take out that radar that Zlo constructed. And looking at the main base, looks like we have one construction turret and about 4 engineers assisting that factory. And on Teddy's side of the map, we have already 3 construction turrets done. So great job. He's adding on wind turbines with two of these construction bots and has 1 expanding on the top side of the map. So looks like we have a little bit of an engagement here, grunt versus grunt. Zlo cleans up that little run by of Teddy before getting too much damage done, but I think he actually lost his construction bot here. So great job, Teddy, sniping that construction bot, denying this expansion. And you can take a look at the mass income. Teddy, 50% more mass income at the moment. He's locked down this top plateau. Has built this forward radar. Great radar positioning him by him so far, and has built 4 of these LLTs on this high ground. So it's going to be a tough order of Zlo pushing Teddy out of that position. So looks like he's just returning to the plateau with his commander. Doesn't want to lose it unnecessarily. And look at this huge grunt line, just trying to lock down his side of the map and prevent his opponent from expanding. We have this 1 construction bot on the south side by Zlo, working his way up to the plateau. And we have this thug here in the middle. Looks like Zlo is mixing this thug into his little Tech 1 army here. Great job. It outranges the grunts. So they are slower moving, but definitely good for stabilizing these Tech 1 armies and kind of pushing into these grunt versus grunt lines. So great job mixing in, developing that diversity in his unit composition. So it looks like he already has 2 Grave Arbors here trying to clean up and res these units from earlier, and 1 LLT starting by this construction bot. Looks like he has another one here on the north side of the map, just trying to get this expansion up, but he's fallen pretty far behind. We have 21 to 33 mass income per tick. You have to take a look at the statistics here. Teddy already almost 3k mass more produced per in this game, and he has 2 bombers on the field. That's where he's put this mass. He has an air factory on the board. He's going to be taking some swipes here at these grunts of Zlo, and that's going to force him to build these thistle turrets. So he's trying to scramble, build these turrets before he takes any economic damage. You don't want these bombers making passes at your wind farms, and that's where he's going. Let's see how much damage he gets. 1 bombing goes off, takes out an extractor. Another bomb goes off. So it looks like he was just targeting those extractors. Doesn't lose any of his wind power. That's good for Zlo here. But he looks like Teddy is adding some of this shurikens into his army. For those of you who don't know, these are these light paralyzer drones. They don't have a direct attack, but they can paralyze and EMP high-value targets out of battle. So they can swing a battle in your favor if you're evenly matched. They can disable turrets if you're trying to do run-bys. They can disable high-tech units if your opponent's tech to them. So a really versatile unit. Really these high-value units. And I think we might have an engagement here. Teddy's stepping down into this low ground as low. So many grunts. He's got a bigger group here, and he's bringing his shurikens in, so we're definitely going to have a fight here. He's stepping forward. Grunts versus grunts. Shurikens on the south side is paralyzing so many of these grunts, I'm sure. You can see them standing here out of the fight, and Teddy's going to push low out of this low ground plateau and secure this part of the map for himself. Not what you want to have happen. And here on the south side of the map, we have Teddy is already locking this down, so he's got 2 LLTs, a forward radar over here, and still he's pushing forward with these grunts and paralyzer drones, just trying to push Zlo back off of this low ground while his grave robbers can soak up some of this mass. Like, he's not rezzing, he's just reclaiming all this mass from his opponent. So great job. We have this one thug here taking shots, dealing damage to this grunt army. You don't want to step too far forward with this higher tech unit here. You can outrange these grunt battles. If he keeps us alive, it's going to serve him well. Meanwhile, Zlo is just healing his units with this grave robber. And Teddy doing a great job of sucking up this mass. So good job making use of these grave robbers, denying that reclaim from his opponent. It's exactly what you want to do. And it looks like Teddy salvaged that air factory after making the bombers, and is starting an advanced bot lab here. So moving up to Tech 2, he's got the economy balancing pretty well here. Not stalling on power. He's got the mass in the bank to afford this, so he's going to be fielding higher tech units than Zlo, and maybe upgrading his own mass extractors. So looks like Zlo's playing very defensive with his commander. He doesn't want to get that sniped, and they built a lot of thistle turrets here. So many thistles. Doesn't want to lose his main base to paralyzer drones, and that mass could have been Tech 2 factory. So great job, Teddy, kind of forcing a response from your opponent even after you've reclaimed your air factory. So looks like Zlo is trying to make a play for the middle of the map here, and Teddy just has to hold this high ground. He's got so many LLTs on this northern plateau with anti-air and his commander, so looks like he even built a metal storage there. So great job controlling the map, locking this down. He definitely has an advantage here. 37 mass income for Teddy to Zlo's 24, and is sitting at about 7k more mass produced. So huge advantage right now, 12 minutes into the game. Looks like we have a gang of construction bots just adding on extra wind power here in the main base, and Zlo posturing here on the south side of the map. He wants to secure this plateau. He wants to get onto the middle of the board here, but I don't think Teddy's going to let him. He's just putting up static defense. He's saying, you have to come to me. I have the advantage now. I have the plateau. He's also building wind farms up here on this plateau, securing that, adding on extra anti-airs. So Teddy really locking down his side of the map, spreading out his economy. You have a couple thugs here stepping forward, taking shots at the army of Teddy. Teddy responds, steps forward, kind of pushes these thugs back to the grunts of Zlo. And still Zlo adding on these thistle towers, so he realized there's still shurikens out on the map and needs to protect his army from those air units. Got a lot of LLTs here. And I'm surprised neither player is making rocket bots to take out these LLTs. Let's see what he decides to produce. Let's see what Teddy decides to produce out of this T2 factory here. Isn't making units quite yet. Could go for these radar bots, these termites. I see a lot of players making these fiends right when they move out to T2, but here we are. I actually have a sumo, this armored assault bot on the battlefield, and that is not good. And we also have a fiend here on the front line, a couple of fiends. So Zlo not realizing the position he's in. I'm wondering if he notices that his opponent has Tech 2 units on the board yet. The game does give you a notification when you spot one of those units. So just trying to lock down his side of the map, doing a great job of preventing this run by from here. He's got units positioned on the north side, just trying to take this low ground. Falling farther and farther behind. His opponent is almost twice the mass income and is upgrading mexas here. So Already has one advanced metal extractor on the board. He's got another one upgrading. So great job by Teddy is just adding on this extra tech. And here we go. Looks like Teddy stepping forward with some of his units here. He's got grunts and fiends, this one sumo mixed into his army, and he might be pressuring this low ground here in a minute. Looks like we have more forces, more tech 2 units trying to pressure this position, and Zlo responds in kind. He's moving up reinforcement. He's sensing this incoming attack, and wants to concentrate his forces here. So big army is Zlo, staring down the army of Teddy. Neither player choosing to engage just yet. There's really not a lot of resources here to fight over. There's just this one mech, but the real story is this plateau that Teddy secured. There's so much static D up here. Adding on wind power with his commander, just making use of that. And so far we have 2 sumos on the battlefield and about 5 fiends. So any minute now Teddy could be stepping forward and end this game if he wanted to. Don't think Zlo's standing army can take this on. Just have 1 thug and about 43 grunts. Couple Thrasher anti-air bots. Really like having these mixed into his unit composition, and we can see we have Sheldons out on the board using their superior range to target these Tech 1 units, and that's going to force Low to make a decision. He can't just sit here and be pushed off this low ground. I mean, if Teddy wanted to, he could force himself into this position here and totally cut off this northern part of the map from Zlo. So this is going to force Lowe's hand. He can't take shots from these long-range units forever. Just raining down fire in these mortar bots. Maybe Sheldon mobile mortar bot. That's tough to say. And is just lined up his entire standing army here. He's doesn't really need to do much. All he has to do is just grind his opponent down. Use this attrition to kind of shell his opponent from range. Slow moving his units around, trying not to take that damage from the auto-targeting units, and it's kind of hilarious. He's just taking no damage from all those shots. Yeah, but he has to make a move here soon. He can't just take this free damage. We have more and more of these Sheldon bots stepping onto the battlefield, so I think this game might be coming to a close soon. Zlo needs to find a reaction to this. He's built so much anti-air, so many Thistle turrets on the board right now in this game, and so I wouldn't be, oh, looks like he's made his own advanced bot lab. So Zlo teching up in kind. He's got these advanced metal extractors coming onto the board and is caught up way in mass income. So just at a 10-12 mass deficit right now. But let's take a look at the statistics. Teddy having a huge 14k mass produced advantage right now. So definitely has an advantage here. And it looks like he salvaged that bot lab. So I'm not sure where he's putting this mass in yet. Wondering what Zlo's going to do here. You have so many mortar bots here just shelling this Tech 1 army, and you can see this damage is starting to add up. So many red and yellow units here in the army of Zlo, and I think he's had enough. He's trying to step forward, but the fiends push him back down onto the low ground, and this is not the position you want to be in. Looks like Teddy's just taking up more space, stepping even farther forward with his army. You can see he's issuing those fight commands, just trying to pick away at his opponent. He doesn't need to take a direct engagement when he has a range superiority, so looks like Zlo finally stepping forward. If you guys like this bar content, you want to see more videos of the tournament, please consider liking, subscribing. I'll be happy to cast some more games for y'all. So let me know what you guys want. And I think this might be it. Teddy stepping forward with his army, moving into the main base of Zlo. And these couple fiends aren't going to be able to shoo away their army. You have so many mortar bots just shelling down. Standing on the high ground, and that's it. Zlo calls GG. Teddy takes this quarterfinal and is going to be moving on to the semifinals. So great job, Teddy. Well played, Zlo. And thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.